Hi everyone, I'm Tiana. Take advantage of what you can, get involved, and make sure you take it all the way.
Today is September 28th, I believe, and this entire week I'm going to try and record all of the events that I go to, because I think the beginning of next week is when everything, all of this workshops for like resumes, interviews, it all leads up to October 5th and October 6th. Those days are known as network nights, and that is where hopefully, if everything goes as planned, I can get myself an internship for the summer. This entire video is going to be like throughout different days, because each day is different workshops. So I'm going to show you guys all those workshops and give you guys tips that I learned from those workshops, and then also take you through the process as if you guys were trying to, go through network night. Today's workshop is an interview workshop. So kind of like the resume workshop that I went to before, except this one's going to be interviewing, tips and advantages that you can have during interviews and what to expect and how to answer difficult questions. It's today's workshop, so I'll take you guys through that and I'll give you guys some inside tips on what to do and what not to do. So here we are at the interview workshop as promised. I see there's a bunch of like papers and stuff, so I'll make sure to summarize it for you guys and give you guys like keynotes.
Let's talk about appearance real quick going into an interview. Standing back and forth, looking at one person for a little bit, then moving on to the next person. Tell me about a time that something like this happened to you. Or explain to me...
Okay, so some key points that I'll share with you guys. First off, know the person you're going to interview with. Know a little bit about them. So do some research, look them up. If you can, talk about that stuff you find in the interview. Another thing is be positive. Always, give them a handshake and stuff like that. Something my mom always told me was treat the CEO of a Fortune 500 company the same way you would treat someone who works the custodials. So always treat them, everyone there, the same way. Think of some challenges that you overcame. What were some pretty hard challenges you had in your last job and how you overcame that. The thing that I want to point out is at the end of the interview, have some questions to ask them. They may ask, is there anything you would like to ask me? Have some questions. I showed you guys some of the papers that we had. You can pause it anytime you want, and it'll show you the things, like some questions that you would like to ask. At the end of the interview, send them an email saying, hey, thank you for giving me the chance to, potentially be an employer. And then the last thing that I want to point out is there are sometimes the interview will ask you some tough questions. The hardest one that most of us have trouble answering is, tell us about yourself. Very basic question, very hard to answer. One way I guess you could answer it is ask people around you, hey, what am I like, or how would you describe me? And just take some of that stuff and hopefully, put it together. That was the interview career workshop. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Today is the 29th of September, and it's day 2 for the road to network night. So today's panel or workshop is career counseling. I don't really know what that entitles to, but I'm about to find out, and you guys are about to find out. So keep watching to find some helpful tips, on career counseling. I'll try to get some footage of what's going on, and then I'll try to take some footage of whatever paper they give me, so that way you guys can read and see what I have. So they gave me a pretty cool name tag and a bunch of paper. So I'll try to show a little bit, of each one, all the pieces of papers that I got. And you can pause it whenever you want to look over it and read through it.
Career Expo, and you can actually go and see who's attending the career fair. What I always recommend to people is spend 10 or 15 minutes reviewing all of those companies and make sort of a list of the top 10 or 12 companies that you want to go visit.
And I've actually had students say that. What jobs do you have for me? It's more a matter of, I've done this research on opportunities you have available at
All right, so, okay.
What we're actually doing here is getting like some coaching on how to do like interviews, like how to how to create an elevator speech. I'm gonna, practice, and then anything that they point out to me that I do bad or that I do good, I'll make sure to let you guys know. But there were some key things that I want to let you guys know during the speech that you guys saw little clips of. One is if you ever do plan to go to like a career fair or something like that, and there are multiple employers there, and you want to have a little bit of practice before you actually go, talk to the real employers. Talk to some companies that you're not really interested in, but that's just a way to get any kind of nervousness that you have left out of your system, so that way when you actually do talk to the real one, you're not so nervous. Once you're done with your interview, with your spiel, and they looked over your resume and everything, ask for a business card. Ask if they can give you a piece of paper, so that way, you can keep in contact with them. With that, any information that they give you or something like that, you can write on the back of that business card or on the back of that flyer that they give you. If not, then they may always give you like an email or something. Sometimes they may actually ask you some questions that are kind of difficult for you to answer. It may not have an actual answer, but they just want to see how you handle that kind of situation, how you handle under pressure. Your research on the employer, so that way you have stuff to talk about, so that way you're not just going up there and saying, I don't know what you guys do, but I like how I'd be something like that. That's during the interview, after the interview. Now before the interview, there's something known as the elevator speech. So with that, you want to not say anything like, I don't know what you do, but I would really love a job, because obviously everyone needs a job, Or, what kind of jobs do you guys have? I don't know. Can you just let me know? So like I said, do your research on the company so that way you know something about them. Your name, your school, when you graduate or when you did graduate, what your major is, if you plan on doing like an internship or full-time. Some information that connects about you, but also connects with the employer. Two examples are what you enjoy or what you do best at. Make sure that you're always, standing upright, smile on your face at all times, and a firm handshake. So not too tight, not too soft, so it's awkward, but a handshake that says that you are ready to tackle on this interview. And speaking of tackling an interview, I'm about to go practice. So again, I'll let you guys know of anything bad that happens, anything good that happens, to give you guys some advice. Okay, so I'm gonna let you guys see how it's kind of set up, so that way you can get kind of a feel of what to do and what not to do, So here we have some multiple companies, and just walk around. I would say first walk around, see what companies are offering if you don't know what's being offered. If you already know what's being offered, then go to those booths, find out where they're located and stuff. If not, I would say go around, look at what your options are, and as you're walking around and you see a company that you do like, try to prepare yourself mentally for what you would say. So far I've been getting some good responses, but I did get some pointers, which I'm going to share with you guys. Like I said before, ask for a business card. Try to connect some way. If you're doing the interview, listen closely to what they say. Try to point out something that you can connect to with what they say. Second is the questions that you ask them. try to think of some good clever ones. Don't try to hit them with very hard ones. I was hitting them with like questions, what would you do and stuff like that about the UN, and that typically is a little bit harder for very small companies. Some actual questions that you could probably use is what would I expect on a typical day, and just see what they give you. And another follow-up question for that is what else might come up, because you wouldn't want to work, you want to know how the day goes at that job, so that way you may not even want to be at the job. Another one is if you have some culture behind you, how would you describe your office culture? They may be a very stuck-up type of place, you never know. Another question that you could ask is, what created this opportunity that I am applying for? Did they lose someone? Are they expanding? So again, try to learn more about that company. And then the last thing, so I did mention that at the end of the interview to follow up with like a thank you. Yes, you could do an email, but if you think about when was the last time you got a birthday card, a gift card, and sure, many of us look at that and it's open for the money, but it actually, you think about it, like some of that person took time out of their day to pick a card out, to handwrite something and give it to you, which says a little bit more than an email. So I would say, if you're gonna follow up with a thank you, I would say do a handwritten note. It does say a little bit more than an email. Hey everyone, today is September 30th and it's day 3 for the Road to Network Night. Today's workshop is getting a feel for how it's going to be during that day. So as you see here, I have a little pamphlet, it has my resume in it, and I'm about to talk with a Toyota recruiter. They're not going to hire anyone, they're just going to give you feedback. So like I said, this is going to be like the actual day of Network Night. They're the company you're talking to, and then you're going to hand them your resume and everything, so that way you can get feedback and everything like that for when the actual night comes, you're prepared for it. So I'm about to go to that. If there's anything important that they tell me and stuff like that, I'll make sure to let you guys know. Other than that, keep watching. Okay, so some key points on what just happened was, when you do go to a network night, something like that, and there are going to be multiple companies, yes, have a resume that is standard. But if you did do your research on some companies, make a couple resumes that have an objective part to it. And with that objective part, put something about the company that you can improve on, so that way they know that you did some research on them. But like I said, just do a few. Don't do that for every single company. To make some standard ones and then put some objectives on some of them. That's what they gave me some pointers on. Another pointer they said was, don't be afraid to put some high school experience on your resume, even if you are, a junior at a university, and that high school was many, many years ago. So that's another thing they gave me advice on. Other than that, we didn't really talk about, I guess, critiques and stuff. We just kept talking like normal people. They were just telling me just stuff about them, and I told them stuff about me, and it was just like a normal conversation. It did not feel like a critique or practice. So I guess that's a thing you could take forward. Try to, be calm, be yourself. Don't get too anxious. And, at the end of the day, be who you want, be who you are. Don't try to seem like someone else when you're doing your interviews and stuff, because when you actually show up to work, they may find out, hey, you were just, pretending and stuff. So I guess that's another advice you could put in. Check my resume if that matters or anything like that. They stole it from me, like, hey, can we keep this? I'm like, sure. So there's that. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Tomorrow is another resume workshop, just another resume overlook. Hey everyone, it's October 2nd, and today's the last day for preparation for Network Night. So today's workshop is one last look over your resume and just preparedness, like your elevator speech and everything, for Monday and Tuesday. So any key points that they mention or anything that I feel like should be stressed or taken out, I'll let you guys know. So everything we worked for is all coming together today, and we're gonna improve it a little bit. Okay, so the resume workshop is just the same exact thing that we went to on the first day. It's exactly the same thing. There's not anything different. That's what she told me. So I guess it's up to us now to put everything together and get ready for Monday and Tuesday. I'm gonna go all over the stuff that we went through, take out some things that they mentioned at the Toyota Recruiter conference, and then just, you know, fingers crossed. Hope you guys enjoyed everything. I hope you guys took some good information, and then I'll post the video for network night on Monday night, so that way you guys can actually see how everything turns out. Okay, so you know how I said you're supposed to print out your resume on that specific piece of paper? I have no idea what it's called, and I bet you guys don't know either. So I'm about to go ask what it's called, where I can print it off and get with that paper, so that way you guys know as well. Change of plans. They're selling Krispy Kremes, and I want some. So we're gonna go get some money, and then we're gonna go ask for what that piece of paper is called. So apparently it is just called resume paper, nothing fancy. They sell it at the bookstore. I think it's like 16 bucks for 100, I think that's what she said. So I'm gonna have to make a stop there, not only for the resume paper, but also for little postcards, I guess, just to send them a handwritten thank you to all the companies that I talked to. And I'm not sure if you guys can see this, but I did end up purchasing donuts. Yeah, it was also like for a donation type thing, so I don't know what I just donated to, but it was for something. So yeah, so that's that. Again, the paper is just called resume paper, and then I'm gonna print that out, print a couple, maybe like 15, and after that we're going to just hand them out, and that'll be it. So I'll see you guys on Monday for the actual event.